Testing 1 2 3. Hello and welcome to the new Fringe podcast. And today, not only have we got some of the most fascinating guests in the Retford Ghost Hunters, but we've also got a new format for the show. Basically, it's just a new microphone. Nothing exciting. It's quite sad, really, because I've lost my host microphone, and it just added that extra bit of power. It made me feel like an inch taller because I could sort of cut through the conversation with my host mic. We are thinking of bringing it back. Me and Peter have discussed about bringing it back. I just sort of feel rudderless without it. It's nice just to have it there to cut through the conversation. A later episode, which we filmed again with JXG, breaking down that album, you'll sort of see the reason why I could have done with the host microphone. But it's just nice to have on the right hand side of me so I can just, lean in close to it. Actually, when people talk to me from the door of the room, I've become that addicted to leaning into the microphone. I lean into the microphone even when we're not on and talk to people from the door as if we're on air. But anyway, this is going to be a really fascinating episode, and I think out of all the guests, and like I said, I always try not to do favoritism. I'm trying to release these in order. Some guests want their material out straight away, but they have to understand there's a queue, which is exciting because it obviously means people want to be on the show. It means we're doing something interesting, and this is episode me and Peter are also dying to get out, and I think the new Fringe is dying to get out because everybody we speak to, it just opens a conversation because we're speaking about ghost hunting, we're speaking about the existence of ghosts. I'm not sure, I don't believe in the existence of ghosts in the traditional sense, but I definitely think there's more to life. I just don't think we've found the answers yet. I don't think we've started looking in the right places. I think there's a lot more to this earth, and I think the reason why I was so excited to have these people on the show as guests is because it's these sort of people what are looking at the world differently, and I think that's what it takes. It's like if you've seen the new documentary on Netflix about the black hole. It took Stephen Hawking to look at the black hole differently from everybody else to actually understand the nature of the black hole. And I'm not for or against, the existence of ghosts. I think it's predominantly optimistic that we've survived death and that our spirits are now in the afterlife. There's a lot of subcultures to ghosts, which I didn't really know too much about. You'll find out in this podcast. There's a lot of different narratives, and I think different teams believe different things. The Retford Ghost Hunters are going for a more scientific approach, using instruments and gadgets to discover the existence. But yeah, this is a hot topic, and I think there's other topics what range around it. Like I said, there's subcategories of we talk a little bit about the effects these guys have to deal with of being ghost hunters, so the trolling, etc. But I point out on the podcast that maybe this is a fear thing, that people get a little nervous to talk about this stuff, because it is we are basically talking about fear. It is a very scary topic, and even if you don't believe, and I many times myself, I talk about not believing, but I still become drawn to it, and that's what I'm fascinated with. Even though I don't believe, maybe as much as everybody in that room, I still keep getting drawn to it, and I'm still fascinated. So what is that? What is that curiosity? Anyway, I'll stop rambling. Really enjoy this one. Try to enjoy it. But you're gonna enjoy this one because it's sort of life, isn't it? We're put on this earth, and we all want to know what's going to happen to us when we stop existing. Alright, enjoy. Oh, and further apologies to Sarah, who's co-hosting this episode with me. We discussed about me leaning in and blocking her out of shot, and I said that I wouldn't do it, but unfortunately my body language took over, and I always lean in when I talk, so I do apologise to cutting her out, and we both see the funny side of it. But we are looking at a 2-camera setup in the future, and also a better angle when there's 2 hosts. Anyway, enjoy.
Spots. They love it, don't
Yeah,
they?
they could watch us literally just sat there
So
eating
you'll
and be enjoying it.
That's some great support.
Quite often we do. So I'll just put on a lyric roll.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hopefully we've got SIG. 5G. It's not
Brilliant.
often we see
That sounds
5G,
close
is
to
it?
5G.
Too old.
Right.
Oh, it's so hot.
In it.
Is it always this warm? Is it just 'cause
It's just 'cause it's really hot today.
No, I'm wearing a coat and a hoodie.
I brought my winter
But I
coat
know
as well.
what
Why?
What's going on? You're just one of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always
Oh, it's
cold.
cold.
Yeah,
Until
very,
they're
very
around.
cold. All the ghosts are out.
Nice.
Is that actually a true thing?
What?
That gets really cold.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cold spots, doesn't it?
Excuse me. Hi guys. I'll just get a few people on.
Yeah.
And then, where shall I stick it? Oh, over there?
Corner.
Where are you?
Corner?
Yeah,
If
put
you
it
wanna
there.
Put it there, that's fine.
Is it there? Let's chill in there.
You can even maybe fit it.
No, you're alright. I'll go round. Can I go round that way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Hi guys, I'm just going to get straight on with it. We'll just stick in your wink corner. And that's it. So you can comment, but you won't be seen.
Alright, to take these bottles off and that as well.
Yeah.
Just for the product placement.
Yeah, we'll be getting-
Cheers.
It's alright.
I'm breaking drunk already.
Don't worry.
I don't worry, we've something messed up.
I do like it.
I do.
So is it just you that you use this space?
No, it's like a shared space,
Is it?
but everybody's alright with us so far. But we think when more people come back, we might get into trouble. Because that's an artist over there, that's an artist over there as well. And then we're in the middle of the room. So,
God, it must be hard then having everyone all different
Yeah.
businesses
yeah.
sharing it.
Right.
Did you do that art? Who did that art?
No, there's a guy called Neil.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Where's my
Yeah.
drink?
I think he does
Well,
like.
I'll
I've
put
put
it
it
down
on
here.
there so it looks a
Oh.
bit more.
I don't know.
Can I have a-
We've missed. I don't know which one's which.
Oh dear.
That's not mine. I haven't drunk that much.
Well, that's
Oh,
the
wow.
fullest.
Yeah, that'll be it then.
And then you can just.
Right. Okie dokie.
So have you guys ever been to a place and you just know straight away, like there's something not right about the place, like it's something not there? Because I do. I'll go into a place and I'll just get a vibe.
Oh, so you're sensitive as well?
I don't know what I am.
Do you
but
believe?
just-
Do you all believe, or? Are you
I'm
I'm leaning towards yes. I would like to believe. I think I just need more proof, but I'm all for learning about it and that.
That's good.
I'm really excited about this podcast.
Oh,
I'm sort of like neither. I'm sort of like I think I don't think we've discovered yet what it is. I think there's something,
you're right.
but I think we're still. I think we're so young as as human beings as well.
Yeah,
I still think we're trying to like search and discover what
Yeah.
the actual true.
you're
true
right.
is.
I agree. Yeah. The answer to that is yeah. Quite often I walk in a place and I know, but I am sensitive. I'm what you'd call empath, and so is Danielle as well. You're getting there.
Feels good.
I surprised myself now.
Yeah.
Because I started when I started a team, I didn't really sense anything, did I? I mean, you feel it go cold or you feel it go warm, and that's all I really get in, and something out the corner of your eye and stuff like that. But now, I don't know, I'm hearing voices and all
You
sorts.
are. The more you do it, the more you.
Have you ever been to a place that's just like too much? Like
Yeah.
you just.
Yeah.
Did you come to the factory?
No, but I watched it and
Alright. We went to a factory the other week, didn't we?
It was.
And it was like the most amazing bangs. It shook the factory.
It's like an abandoned factory.
There was no wind, was there?
Nothing.
There was no split. We kept trying to find the source of the banging, and every time we got to it, it moved. It was somewhere else. And in the end, we were shitting it off. In the end,
just taunting you.
we asked us, we're going to have to go. We're just going to have to go. And we went back the next day, didn't we?
And it's when you walked up to that spot and you said, it was just about here, and then all of a sudden it just went
Bang!
And
Somewhere
it was
else.
and there was
Oh my
nothing, absolutely nothing.
So it was like when you went over to a place and you heard it behind you and you went to that place, it's like behind again.
It kind of, yeah. I mean, it was a big
damn.
place, but yeah, it was kind of like
Hanging
that,
from
wasn't
everywhere,
it?
weren't it? Absolutely
Yeah,
everywhere.
nuts. Absolutely nuts. And then when we went back the next day, there was there was no wind, and that we did a lock off, didn't we? We just put that like the tripod, and we just let live roll, and it started again, didn't it?
Yeah.
So like, wow.
Because we like to debunk it, don't we? We like to look for the scientific
Is
side of it.
Is that like the first approach?
Oh yeah.
Like, going
Massively.
for that?
Always.
But how do you do research before, or is it like a tip off? Is somebody like...
What we do, because we go to a lot of places with some great history, so we've got Gary on our team who's a historian, local historian and stuff, and he's great in it.
Yeah.
So he'll do some history. So we always start with, a bit of about the place. And quite often he'll keep some names back and stuff. So if any names come out, he'll then say, well, actually, you've just picked up on so-and-so who owned it, or whatever. And then we just start. We just start as investigation and go for it, don't we? And then if, say, gosh, let's think of say if there's a bang, or say if there's a noise, and then you'll go, God, that was on response, that's brilliant. And then you'll hear it again and you go, it's water dripping.
Yeah.
And we'll go, debunk it, it's water dripping. Now, I know that there may be some other teams out there across the world that would play on that. And they'd be like, oh.
Yeah, you do see it in TV shows, don't you, a lot? Like, they just follow the sound, and they stay in that room for a long time.
Yeah. So you've got to be careful. And it's the same with screenshots as well, because we only go live on Facebook. All our viewers can screenshot. And then what we do, we encourage them to send them to the page, like to the inbox.
Yeah, I think I saw it. It was on Instagram. There's like, you got loads of
there's
them,
a few on there. Yeah, it needs updating, like, but and that's viewers. So I get loads. Like after every investigation, I'm like, no.
We get some calls.
And it's all circled and like, oh, this is a man, and you're like, it's a wall, shadow. And because we're there on the investigation, we even go in and say that'll be sent to us later, because the way the wall's peeling or something, it might be like a face, and it's called pareidolia.
Yeah.
So we're very aware of that, aren't we, as well? So
Do you have like a step-to-step process of like, so when you go into a place, is it a step thing? Like,
Yeah, how do you start the investigation? I'm curious.
Build the energy. We have to, don't we?
You do. I'm very, very strict on
Very strict. I'm the one who gets told off.
Yeah, she's
too loud.
strict in what way?
I'm strict in a regime. I always present. Well, it's a show, isn't it?
It is.
Always present. Welcome to Retford Ghost Hunters. Where some of the teams might just be live and just chit chat and you're just watching them doing their own thing. But I like to have a structure. I like to have a plan to the investigation. Sometimes that plan diverts because of activity. Mm-hmm. So something might go off and you think, actually, we're not going in that room today. Or sometimes we think we're going to do the whole building and we're in one room all night because it's all going off.
Yeah.
And then you think, wow, we'll come back to this place. Like the cheese factory.
The cheese factory was insane.
Is this local, the cheese factory?
About an hour away.
Yeah, about an hour away.
But we went not expecting anything. Like, it was a bit of this ain't going to be haunted. We got there and we got some really good evidence, didn't we?
We did.
I think that's where it always works, isn't it? Like the one what you least expect is probably like the most haunted.
Yeah, quite often it is, isn't it? We go to some places that we're like, oh, can't wait to go. Even like East Drive. Have you heard of East Drive? Yeah. It's the most haunted house in the UK. In Pontefract. So we've been there a number of times, and sometimes we go and it's mental all night, and then another time you go and it's absolutely dead.
There's a film based on it called When the Lights Go Out.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's based on that house.
What's sort of like your relationship with the paranormal? Like, are you, when you approach these things, are you cautious in what can happen, or is it sort of like excitement? Or is it a mixture?
We are a little bit of a different team though as well, because we don't do Ouija boards at all. We don't touch them.
I was reading that.
And seances, we don't do that either. We're very scientific based and we're very equipment based, as you would say. Our sponsor is Paranormal Electronics, and he makes all the equipment, sells it worldwide. He's a top seller, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he supplies us with all our stuff, and because we're running a show, like I've said before, we need visual.
Yeah.
As well, and personally, I think a finger on a thing is not.
No, anyone could.
And so many people would just be like, they're pushing it,
Yeah.
So I want something that I can say that should not be doing that. That piece of equipment should not be kicking off.
But yeah, we've got a thing called a paratune, and it's got to be literally like walked near to go off. It plays like some spooky music, and we was on the bottom floor, weren't we? Like in like like an old police station. So
Yeah.
it was in the cells, and we could hear it going off at the theatre. There were no one in that theatre.
It was great.
It was amazing.
Went
we
off
were
5 times,
so
didn't
excited
it?
when we
Yeah.
could go off.
We do get very excited, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh, but it shows the
Buzz.
viewers, when you get excited, it shows the viewers just how real it is, because you can't, just the
You can't
excitement.
force
you can't
What is
fake
that feeling
excitement.
like? Is it because I've never been...
Buzz.
Adrenaline, like
It's adrenaline
buzzing
rush. If you
and
had an
scared.
adrenaline rush,
Yeah.
you get it's just like that. It's unbelievable.
Well, that's something
you want more and more and more.
Well, we went to some woods the other day, and we'll go to places where we think there's something about it, and we'll play off each other, and we'll get a rush,
Yeah.
but we're not really looking for anything, but we still sort of...
Yeah.
Just things happen what can't be explained.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's like anything. Different people get their sort of like kicks from different things, don't they? Ours is paranormal.
Ours is ghosts.
Ours is probably fear.
Yeah.
And
No,
the
no,
unknown.
I love
No, no,
it.
You
so-
know.
It's when it's most exciting, really, when you're close to some sort of like dangerous...
It is.
It is, yeah,
Definitely.
definitely. And we do get scared. Some people don't get that concept of why should a paranormal investigator get scared.
If you have one where it's so scary, it's just like, I can't do this
I've been
anymore.
attacked, pushed, all sorts.
I've
Oh
been
my God.
pushed and I've
Well,
been
that- Yeah.
affected to the point where we're in a graveyard, weren't I? Where we're at Welbeck somewhere, weren't we? That
That's
area.
right.
And my head just went,
She
and I was
liked
just
something
walking
else.
off in circles.
What, so you
just
mean like out-of-body
completely-
experience?
Like delirium.
Just completely delirious, like it was
More
weird.
than
And I got
normal.
pushed over, and they got it on camera, didn't they? Me
Yeah,
getting pushed
yeah.
over. That went awful.
Has it ever
Crazy.
followed you like back home, or is it
No,
always
thank
it
God.
just stays in the area?
We've always been very, very...
You have to
And
be
we closed
careful.
down
We close
as well.
down. Open up and close
What
down.
precautions would you take to like...
Well, what I did, we used to open up and close down, but now I've got my own belief is that everybody should do it themselves. So I say to people, prepare yourself before you come, and make sure you prepare yourself before you go home. So we used to stand in a circle and everything else, but now we do it as I think we're more attuned to ourselves, aren't we?
Yeah.
I always like say, don't even bother following me back home, because if you do, you'll get dealt with and sent back. So what's the point? And I think the spirits just know as well, don't they? And you have to be careful what you do.
Of course you do.
So we're
You're
not
playing your
And
Ouija
if-
boards and stuff
if
like
they've
that.
owned
You've got
that-
a chance.
If
haven't
they've
you,
owned
that
that
it's
place
gonna-
for, say, how many years, you think, why do they want to go in with you anyway?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
quite happy where they are.
I don't know, my house is quite nice.
Well, yeah, it is.
But do you think spirits are like fundamentally bad, or do you think they're actually good, or do you think it's like some spirits
Good
are
and bad.
like a mixture of both?
You could say that about every single person in this room.
Yeah.
Are we bad? Are we good?
think when
'Cause that's
you're-
what that spirits are.
If you're a nice person when you're here, when you're a nice person when you pass over. If you're not a very nice person when you're here, you're not going to be a very nice person when you pass over.
Unless you're pissed off that you've died.
Yeah, unless you're fuming that you're dead.
There's that as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, I think you were asking as well, wasn't you, earlier telling me? Do spirits just stay in one location, or can they? Do they have the freedom to actually?
Yeah,
They've
'cause
been known to move, haven't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah, I've heard that like some are like tied to a house or an object or something,
Mm.
but maybe they can move about.
Well, if you
I'm
take that
unsure.
object, maybe,
Yeah.
there's stories of that. Especially,
Annabelle, that doll.
Well, there's Annabelle, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And as well, if you start dabbling in like Ouija boards and stuff, you could bring a spirit from another place. Because we've had investigations where
The other
we've had
week.
like a soldier in a pub that's
Well,
French.
it was a French soldier,
a
wasn't
French
it?
soldier in a pub, and it
Yeah,
shouldn't be
bizarre,
there.
just
No.
completely
And then
bizarre.
through the equipment, we kind of gathered that it was brought in using a bad piece of equipment,
Yeah.
like a portal.
You can bring anything in.
Just
You
not
just gotta
dealt
be
with
careful.
properly, so...
One of the most interesting things though is when you go into like a pub, what's haunted. Everybody sometimes usually has the same story without even knowing.
Yeah.
Like cause, this guy I used to talk to every single day didn't reveal too much to me about his life, and he just said to me, I saw a woman in the pub, and I thought he was drunk. I was like, what do you mean? And then I spoke to somebody else, and they also saw the same woman in the pub, and they never knew each other.
Yeah. So when all them stories are the
They're all
same,
interlinked,
Yeah.
there's
aren't
got to
they?
be some foundation to it, hasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's where we go in and...
It's like haunted roads.
Investigate.
A lot of people will see the same figure on the same road,
Mm-hmm.
and people don't know each other. But I drove down the road and saw an old woman, and then someone else might say they saw an old woman, and it's surprising how the same, like you say, the same
And it
stories
can
that
go
you
on for
do here.
centuries, can't it?
Yeah.
Did you all start on like paranormal experiences? Is that what like drove you to start?
I think every
looking?
single person in my team has got an individual story.
different.
And
Since I was a kid, I've been obsessed with it.
Yeah, so
I
different
literally-
stories.
I didn't. It's not even anything I thought about the paranormal. And then first lockdown, I accidentally came across Retford Ghost Hunters, and then I fell in love with it. Started watching it, and then I went out for what we call a
Stalked. Used to be
stalk. I
stalked.
wasn't stalked.
Story.
I went out. I booked a VIP where you take a guest out, and I loved it, didn't I?
And we loved him.
and then they offered me a place on the team, and it's the best thing we've ever done. Loved it.
Almost instantly, I was like, oh my God, he's got to join us. And also, Will is a Peaky Blinder boy as well.
Do a
He's
lot of TV sporting work.
So, yeah.
Like that. So yeah, I think that's why I was
Natural
confident on
on
camera.
camera.
To be fair,
Yeah, definitely.
Did you ever get anybody who's like on camera and they're a bit shy? Or
Yeah,
a bit
yeah,
scared?
we've got our young Lee at the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, he's just finding
We're
his
meeting
feet
him
and
after.
bless him.
Yeah, he's 18, our youngest team member, and he's so lovely. But we noticed that he was very quiet, very timid.
Yeah.
But he's a little bit of my project into.
Is that just like the fear of what's about? Maybe he's about to go
I
into?
think it's just in
I
general.
think he's just nervous.
Just
isn't he,
nervous,
person
yeah.
into
I think this will bring him out.
And it's
I do.
helping. It's changing already.
confidence. You can see it
Yeah.
coming, can't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, when I get really well around this sort of stuff, even though I still haven't worked out myself what I think is actually happening.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've heard of the Crown in Bawtry.
Yeah.
Of
It's,
course,
it's like
yeah.
there's so many stories, even dating back to when my dad was there.
Yeah.
He's got so many stories. So everybody kept saying, "Stay in the room. What's supposed to be haunted?" And so at first I was acting quite tough, and then when I actually came to stay in the room, I was just terrified.
Was you?
Yeah.
Well,
Dead,
yeah.
dead shut your eyes.
Because no, it just kept playing on my head all the stories what
And
I'd
that's
heard.
a lot of that is.
But
is-
I don't even think it's that. I think it's also a feeling as well. Like I
Maybe.
just got this feeling that something wasn't.
Did you see anything?
No.
It might be
but-
clairsentient, not clairvoyant, but clairsentient, where you're sensing things like me and Rach, and Will's getting there.
Everybody's got it. Everybody's
gotta open it
We've
up.
all got the same. We're all the same makeup, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so I that's my belief anyway. I think we only use a third of his brains. What's going on with rest?
Mm-hmm.
And I just think everybody's got that potential. And why I believe that is because since starting to sort of like let myself go spiritually, you do grow and you learn more. And watching my team members like seeing things and that, and they never used to. So I think we've all got that potential.
Yeah, so it's more like a skill that you need to, like, the more you're exposed to it, the better you'll get.
Yeah,
the more you'll
definitely.
sense.
Yeah, completely.
And if you
agree.
believe,
Yeah.
that's your first step into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The closest I've ever had was sleep paralysis.
Oh,
where
God, I've had that as well.
It's not nice, is it? It was
I've
when,
never had it, but I've heard about
it's
it.
when I was
Yeah.
probably about 9, and I was staying in a dorm room in school. And I woke up, and my friend, his face was all twisted, and he was talking to me in like a language I've never heard before. And I just woke up screaming. I managed to break out of it.
Yeah.
Because you're frozen, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I broke out of it, and I just remember screaming. So that's like the closest I've ever had.
Do you know what
Right.
sleep paralysis is?
Yeah, when you see like shapes and is that
It's actually when your brain wakes up before your body.
oh
So your brain wakes up, but your body's not. It's not connected, so you can't move any limbs.
yeah.
You can't do anything. There's a delay.
That's the
And
scientific side of it.
That's
isn't it?
scientific.
I
side of
believe
it.
this is my belief on it. So, have you ever heard of astral projection?
No.
Yeah.
So, it's basically when the soul can leave the body. Now, I think what happens is your soul basically leaves the body, and you basically go on to another like earth plane, like another level,
Another dimension.
and you're kind of lost.
There's something in that because when I'm like sometimes asleep, I can see myself asleep in my dreams.
There
There you go.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's honestly.
like you're on like in the roof, sort of like floating around. You can see yourself
Yeah,
down.
so you're seeing your soul is basically looking down at your body.
Yeah.
That's my belief on it. We've
But
all
you
got
could go, you
different
could go
beliefs
deep
on
into
it.
like there's the consciousness. Some
Yeah.
people believe the consciousness lives outside the body. Some people believe it's in. Some
Yeah.
people believe it's the heart, the brain. We don't know, and that's one of my little mottos, isn't it?
Yeah.
That I always say. I don't believe that Retford Ghost Hunters will find the answer to the paranormal, but we have fun looking for it
Yeah,
And, we do
and
have
experiences.
yeah,
fun. So
definitely.
much fun.
Yeah.
There's something there, though, isn't there?
Definitely.
It's like dreams. I just
Dreams are awesome.
yeah no I love that. I sometimes wake up and I have like a horrific nightmare. It'd be horrible, but there's a bit of an adrenaline after the dream, and I'll write it down quickly.
And you're
what
like,
Yeah.
what was all? Wow, why did I dream that?
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
When I had sleep paralysis, it started off like a lucid dream, so I could like control like what was happening. But then like at one point, like I sort of lost control and it turned scary. And then I tried to sort of wake myself up, but like I couldn't. Like you said, like my brain was awake, but then I couldn't open my eyes or move or anything. It sort of like changed. It was really strange. And then when I eventually like woke up, like it was terrifying. I just
bless you.
yeah.
Do you get it
Never
a
get
lot?
it.
I did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you get it a lot?
You-
It just happened the one time, but it was like whilst I was awake, but I couldn't move. I couldn't open my eyes, but I could still sense something was like next to me, like, like a tall dark figure. Even though I couldn't see it, I knew what it was.
A lot of people
Wow.
say that it's tall dark figures.
Yeah.
I've had it once, and I'd
Your
actually
spirit
just done a
guide.
ghost hunt, and it weren't with you guys. It was the team 10 years ago I was with, and I'd done the ghost hunt. So I don't know if it was like on playing on my mind or whatever, and it was like my brain. But I was in bed, and I woke up, and there was a 7-foot, I'd call it a being, like with no face, and it had like a hood up, and it was just pointing, staring at me, and I couldn't move
This is
or
the same with
speak.
my
I know.
sleep paralysis.
I know.
You know, you dream about people in dreams.
Yeah.
You never really see their face, do you?
No, it's
Or-
strange.
Or it's like 100 of the same faces.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's got to be something
It's
with
true.
it. It can't
Yeah,
just be.
surely. It can't
the
just be like
brain.
the mind making it
There's
up.
so
No.
much out there. That's
There is so much
amazing.
unknown.
But do you think COVID's done something as well? Because like when I started doing lots of walks in the woods through COVID, I just felt like society was just so, maybe stiff's the word, it just felt so rigid. And then when
100%.
you're actually out in like the woods, everything just felt more awake.
That's
Yeah,
nature.
you're right,
You're back to
yeah.
nature. That's what it should be. That's how you should be feeling.
Yeah.
You know, that's grounding. That's another way of grounding
It's very
yourself
spiritual, that.
and
isn't
getting
it?
yourself back to earth. You know, 'cause end of day, all this is just it's man-made and
Yeah.
it's media and everything. I know we're sat here doing a podcast, but it's all
It's right,
to
though,
to
isn't
take
it?
you away from of being at one with yourself and with nature. You know, that's why people go off to find themselves, and they always go to nature, don't they? They'll go
Yeah.
to a tranquil place or whatever because that's what we need.
Well, that's why I sort of like podcasts, because you can't really edit it.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
going out, it's
More
like
into
conversation.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
A bit
like,
like our lives, isn't it?
That's
Yeah.
it. That is
There's no
it,
editing.
Yeah.
But I was
No
watching
editing.
something and like anything happens in, doesn't it? You guys just
Yeah,
go
we just
in
go
and-
with flow.
Yeah.
Literally
Just-
go with the flow.
It kind of takes its own lead, don't it? It takes its own
Yeah.
path.
You have a structure. As you probably, if you've watched me, you'll see how well you like. Can you do this? Can you do that? But then it depends what's going off. It might change.
Yeah.
But we kind of try and keep structure. I mean, sometimes we get a bit overexcited and we all start talking together. Or I'm like, right, bring it down
Rein
now.
it in,
Come on,
rein
rein
it
it in, viewers. But they know what we're like as well, don't they?
Yeah.
No, sometimes you do forget you're on, don't you?
Yeah.
And then you just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, you do. It's
Yeah.
very
and
easy
then
to...
you watch it back and you're like, oh, why did I say that?
Yeah, definitely.
All the
We have to
time.
be careful, don't we?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
definitely.
Do
We
any
have
of
as
the-
trolls,
what in like
trolling
Like
the
online
page.
trolls when we live.
Yeah,
just
well, you
come on and try
can't-
and spoil it.
Yeah, there's even groups on Facebook that are actually dedicated to trolling paranormal
But
teams.
do you think
So
that's a fear
Bless you.
thing?
Thank you.
Do you think that's like a fear thing? Like they
I just think it's a sad thing.
No else better to do, have there?
Get on with something else.
We just laugh it off now.
We
don't
do.
We have to,
We
don't
do.
we?
We've got all our mods anyway, haven't we? And they're brilliant.
Yeah, we've got 6 mods and they're absolutely kick-ass.
That's all right. So
So-
you keep it like monitored then well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very monitored well, yeah.
But no, but I generally think it's a bit of like a bullying thing. I honestly generally believe people are a bit scared. I'm not saying if you don't believe that's fine, but if you're a little bit scared, I think it just gives people the excuse to. I think they're scared within themselves and then they're going to attack somebody else.
My dad
Maybe
does
so.
that. My dad does not believe, and then and you can just tell it's because he's scared.
Yeah.
Like he goes fishing on his own. He's like, I've been fishing for 25 years, never seen anything. When I've been on my own. My dad, you're scared. Like you can just tell. You know what I mean? He's just scared, and that's why
Yeah.
he won't admit it.
Do you think it happens to like certain people? Do you think certain people got like a presence about them, and it sort of like maybe attracts?
Absolutely. It's your aura, isn't it? Like what colours your aura's showing and stuff like that. Spirit you're attracted to. Like when I was pregnant, so I've just got a 7-month-old baby. I was being constantly. Spirit was
You were
constantly on me.
yeah, you were so sensitive.
Very
weren't you?
sensitive. Because obviously my aura were a different colour because fertility. Just after
Yeah.
I was pregnant.
You're going through something really, aren't you? It's like a big period in your
Of
life.
course it is.
Huge.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And did
And
it
you've got
scare
that-
you?
You've got another spirit within you as
I-
well.
Yeah, well, exactly. I used to get a bit freaked out for Dolly. That's my little girl. I used to
Yeah.
get freaked out thinking, oh, it's not going to do anything to her, is it? But
Mm-hmm.
luckily, I think she's fine. And,
Oh, good.
yeah.
So like back to like when you go out, investigating, is there like a place where you just say no? Like because it's just too.
Not for me. I always, every time we do the evil chapel, I always say I'm never going back, and then I
Oh,
always do
yeah.
go
What
back.
what's the evil chapel?
It's a little chapel. It's just on the other side of the M1, isn't it? And
Is that where I started walking about funny and went, oh, weird?
No.
Oh,
No.
right, I'll never go back there.
it's just an old. How old is that?
Oh
Can't remember
gosh,
now.
it's probably
It's the tiniest chapel.
14th,
You literally,
13th
it's just like a
century.
little square,
Yeah.
the graves around it. But as soon as you walk into that little chapel, it's got no roof or anything. The atmosphere just changes, don't it?
Yeah.
And there's something evil in there. Even the screenshots we've got is insane.
Crazy. And I've had an EVP in there saying "fuck you." I've had
I'm getting
walking around us, which I knew it was walking around us, like it almost sounded like hoofs. We've had we did a lock off there.
What's a lock?
A lock off the same camera. Just put your camera in. We all bugger off and let it just go. Roll. So none of the team are there. We were all in cars watching, and every bit of equipment just kept going off, like the REM pods.
Yeah, that went off all
flashables.
night, weren't it? The REM
It
pod.
was crazy, absolutely crazy. So
And
I'll go back there, but I won't.
And
go
my
back to
name's
the other.
Will, and on the spirit box it came up with "will die."
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm never going back now.
But would there be such things like a spirit? What was like teasing? Would you get like a
Yeah,
spirit
we
what
do.
was
Oh,
like-
We do
yeah,
get,
definitely, don't
definitely
we?
get false spirits. Yeah. I mean, I'm not being funny. If I was a ghost,
I know, that's
and
what
I
I
was
was thinking.
stuck, I'd be having a ball.
I'll be frightening everyone I don't like.
Ghost hunters, right? I'm a 6-foot bloke. Then there'll be something else next time. Yeah.
I'm just thinking how main stories being captured like kids what just go into these abandoned places to hang out, and
Yeah.
something happens to them and they see something but they just don't tell anybody. I bet their stories just mounting up.
Yeah,
I think
massively.
my thing as well about ghost hunting is, and I do say it a lot, don't I, is people put a ghost and a human being separate. As soon as people die, they become this something else, don't they? And you forget that they're still that person. So when you die, you're still going to be you.
Yeah.
Yeah? Your spirit will still be the spirit that I'm talking to now. And that relationship, I find, needs to be sort of like got out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like nurtured maybe. Like
Yeah, I just think people need to realise, like some people go out and investigate and they're like, come on then, you're this, you're that, and
Yeah,
other,
you
and they
get
start
some-
shouting
they
at
get
them and stuff. And I
aggressive.
think,
People are
wow,
awful, how they go off.
you're shouting at somebody's grandma.
Yeah, they wouldn't like that, would
we
they?
always
Get a
say, we always say please and thank you. We use our manners.
Always.
We're respectful.
Always.
We just talk to them
Sending
like
love all the time
we'd
to
want to be
them, aren't
spoken
we?
to.
Yeah.
We don't start them. I mean, we like asking, but we don't start demanding aggressively, do we?
No.
do you think that's like the media portrayal of like the paranormal now? Like
Absolutely
it's been ranked because all the films it's just like crazy.
Yeah.
They're after us. So when people go in looking for ghosts, they've already got that conclusion in their head.
Yeah,
that this is gonna
exactly.
be-
Like they're not really
Yeah.
portrayed as people, are they? Just
No.
like this thing.
Monsters
Between us,
almost.
it's just
aren't
a-
they?
yeah. Something else. It's so that's why we are a little bit different. Like I've said, we don't do the Ouija boards and all that, and we approach the paranormal in a very different way, and we use a lot of humour.
We basically go for a chat.
Chat with ghosts.
Yeah, we do.
a podcast.
It's like a counselling session half at time, isn't it?
Right.
Do you like when you go to like a abandoned building? Are you able to find like records on the building?
Sometimes.
Date really far.
Yeah.
Sometimes, if we're lucky.
Will there be like cool old books like documents in these buildings where you can?
Sometimes
we
we do.
Artifacts and stuff.
Because
no?
what we also the other side of ghost hunting, not all the team, but me, Will, Laura, and sometimes like you come along. After this, we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going
We
to
do
that,
urban
yeah.
exploring as well.
That's my next. I got offered by
Yeah.
like
It's amazing.
because I spent when me and Peter went to Paris, we spent about 10 hours trying to get a proper guide to take us into the catacombs. Got no luck.
Oh, I'd
Have
love
you
to go
not
in them
watched As Above,
catacombs.
So Below?
Love to go in them. Oh, that's
I-
one of my favourite films.
I do like that film.
My favourite
Ter-
film.
I love it, that one.
But yeah, we
We do a lot of that. We do a lot for our supporters who are watching us now.
we've been offered to go urban exploring, and we should
Do
definitely
it.
take it.
Do
up.
it.
Do it.
Is it really weird to say I kind of like being in those places?
It's
I
the
do.
risk. It's the risk of not being allowed in there as of such.
Yeah.
So you just
Yeah.
get again adrenaline.
I think for me it's just
As long as it's
nobody-
open and it's there's no sort of like do not enter or or CCTV. You've got to be careful of all that. But if it's a place it's been absolutely derelict for ages and you're going to be safe. I mean, we've
the
been
doors
kicked
open,
out
all the windows
loads.
open, then
I think it's just exciting seeing like old history. Like it's just like
It's that
it just makes
time.
time feel like it's
Yeah.
non-existent.
It's time
Yeah, it
capsule.
does.
It's great.
But just seeing like all the overgrown leaves like breaking in and there's glass.
When
on
we're
it.
our heads are spinning 360, aren't they?
whenever we see a derelict,
Constant.
we're like emergency brake.
Yeah.
Get us
It's
in.
boarded. Harry's fencing.
It's border.
Because most like YouTubers that do it, they won't show you how to get in.
Oh
will
no,
they?
we don't.
So you there's a place around here.
I'm saying no. On the contrary, we do.
You do.
Well, we should we get into
We
it.
Well, we do.
Well,
if
it's-
we're
if
urban
it's filming,
exploring,
you'll
we
see
do
it
because
when-
we don't. We need to show that proof that.
Yeah, we're showing that we're not breaking
That
in.
we're not breaking in or anything.
We'll show the entrance point to a point, don't we? Yeah.
You're normally filming me climbing through a window.
yeah,
Will
that's
come on.
true. But yeah, we've done a few where we've turned up and there's like all the cutlery still set out and in the cupboards is like
Food.
mugs
Yeah.
and food.
Food
and
from the 70s and
sewing
60s.
machine. That sewing machine we found still on the nightside table and stuff like that. And
Beautiful.
Well, places get ditched, don't they?
the woman's tea.
Yeah.
Like, well, this building, it's just been like left,
That's
and then,
it.
then we've all just moved in, and we're trying to work out what this place is or used to be.
Is it haunted?
I was just going to say.
Yeah,
I wondered.
Yeah, but you sometimes do like you'll be in like I used to work in Doncaster Airport, and at night there'd be nobody about, and you'd hear stuff moving. I knew what it was. It'd be like the fridge, something like that. But I don't know what that feeling is, but you just don't want to be there anymore. Like you just want to get out.
Yeah.
Mm.
You start being uncomfortable with your own presence, don't you? You're
Yeah.
like, I need somebody.
Yeah. I can ask you guys: is climbing paint legit? Like
Climbing.
paint.
Yes.
What they put on there, so that will actually
Yeah.
ruin your shoes.
Yeah.
I've ruined a few of
'Cause
the
it-
outfits with it.
Yeah.
Because the place I'm trying to get into have put climbing paint. I've never heard of it before.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at it on the wall. And I was like, does it look like serious?
It's
Or-
like the thickest grease and
Yeah, it's like
Oh
very
god, and I've
thick
got white
wheel.
on.
No, we're not
No, we're
wearing
going
like
to a
that.
public place tonight.
To be fair, we've only come across it once. At
The chapel,
yeah.
and the care home.
And, twice.
But I still went in, and then inside this care home, it had all the records still in there of
Every patient.
every patient, every day. It was bad actually that it was still in there.
in like pristine order.
That's crazy.
And then we can't film things like that.
No,
Why not?
just
Data
for
protection
privacy.
still.
Be careful, I'm gonna get sued, can't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It was good
so
to
even
see.
with all this, we have to be very careful at what we do as well.
Yeah.
So you've got to have that air of sort of like excitement and mystery, but alongside that, we have to be careful and we have to cover his own arse.
Well, that's what I was thinking, because if you had like a landlord and you prove something wasn't, something was happening there, maybe, no, I guess it would bring tourism in, wouldn't it? Maybe, but it could also be a negative. It could also be a negative thing as well, I think.
Yeah, with COVID, obviously we've not done many pubs, but before COVID, pubs were like my thing, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Because a pub comes with so much history. Most pubs are 16th, 17th, 18th century with a story.
Yeah.
You know, quite often with a good story. So we do enjoy doing pubs.
Have you been to the Golden Fleece in York?
Not yet.
We need to
I
go
phoned them
there.
up the other day,
Did
and they're
you?
not taking on until next year.
Oh, that's a shame. I stayed in one of the rooms there once. Like, I love the furniture because everything's still like really old there, and like even the floors are slanted and stuff. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
Brilliant, isn't it?
But yeah, I didn't really see anything though. You know, obviously, like as I said before, I can sort of like feel like there's something there. And I felt that, but
I mean, if you're
unfortunately, I didn't
interested,
catch anything.
start looking into the history of where you live.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing. Like Gary's given us so much on Retford.
What you actually find.
And if you know, libraries are open and stuff, and if you find a building, try and find out the history of it, and it's quite amazing.
Is
You'll
like
enjoy
is
it.
like a really good way to do that? Like a way to
Yeah.
place it, like libraries.
Yes, libraries, especially for like pubs and stuff like that, old pubs, there'll be lists of landlords, there might be something that happened there, paper cut out from a newspaper, all sorts in there.
That's a bizarre thing,
Internet.
because when you go into a place and you feel like something's happened there, and then you research into it, almost straight away something has happened there.
Oh
And
yeah, lots of times. But what we tend to do is we'll sort of like get Gary to do things, won't we? And if it's a pub, Gary might not tell me what's actually happened.
See
He'll
if you
leave
can pick
something
it
back
up.
to see if I can pick it up. And quite often I do. So
That's proof right there, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, you
of
did
course
it the
is.
other day at the mill.
I did.
That was really good.
Yeah, and I didn't even know where we were going because I thought we were going to Huddersfield, didn't I? No, to
No,
Bradford.
you probably, and it was actually Huddersfield.
That's right. Yeah,
It sounds like you do quite a lot then.
we're all over.
Oh
All
god, I
over
love
country.
it.
Where we're
I love
going
our
tomorrow?
England.
We're in Hull tomorrow,
Hull tomorrow.
39 de Grey Street.
And
Which
next
is again,
weekend.
another, it's like East Drive is the most haunted, isn't it? And then that's
Dick
another
Gray's in the most haunted one in the world.
where this, yeah. So it's going to be
Oh,
interesting.
yeah, there's only me and Will going.
We're there for the weekend.
What makes it the most haunted?
Well, I don't know too much about it, to be honest. I don't know if you do.
Children walk out of walls and all sorts.
That's amazing.
People scream. People
Yeah.
never leave. People run away. Never go back.
I'm kind of going in blind to it and just
Yeah, we're just
seeing what.
Seeing what if
yeah.
it's-
yeah.
What's like the worst thing? Like, I think screaming sounds pretty bad. That sounds pretty.
Do you know what the worst thing is? If something affects you mentally.
Yeah, that's
What do you
not
mean
nice.
you carry it after you've been?
But even at the time, you know, sometimes when you can get like when you've got a bit of delirium and stuff, and it's not left, bless her.
No, it never has left me.
But you know, when you can be affected, there's times where viewers know, they'll say, "Is Rachel all right?" And I'll just be like, "Gotta get out of here, gotta get out."
You can get angry as well, can't you? Sad, you can
Yeah.
start crying for no
Yeah.
reason.
What do you mean by getting angry? Like,
For instance, we had Macca.
Oh my god, he went to kill
He
him.
started to a member of my team started to get angry, and we like took him to one side. I said, "Are you all right?" And he went, "No, I want to hit Pete."
But Macca's the nicest.
And he's the
Yeah,
most
he's the most
gentle.
It's like a little
spirit.
gentle giant, isn't it?
We were like, "Okay,
Oh wow.
off her here,
That really offensive.
off away."
Yeah.
that's actually quite fascinating. So you can go through quite a lot of different emotions.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
this
yeah.
we went on one and I know it sounds crazy, but my ear was being affected.
Like
honestly,
To the point of
pain,
crying.
like horrendous pain. And we was in like it were a brothel, but it was the Victorian brothel or Edwardian.
Mm-hmm.
And I think apparently when the women never used to listen, the man or whoever or the lady, they put something in their ear. You know, like to tell them off, and I could feel the pain in this ear. It were I've never known pain like it. It was like a knife were being driven into my ear.
Awful.
I think with feelings as well, it's surprising how emotional they can be.
Yeah.
Especially when your equipment's picking up that it's someone who's lost that can't move on and they're away from the family, and all of a sudden everyone just becomes emotional.
That's
the viewers are
another one.
crying.
Yeah.
It's just mad how it does affect you differently.
Yeah.
But you were saying you only came like into a year. But did you have all those emotional experiences before?
No, I never even thought about the paranormal before.
So do you think
I just found... I feel like now it was meant to be. But I just found him on Facebook and I started watching him, and then I was watching. And I just thought I need to go on one of these hunts. So
And you are so passionate.
I just
about
messaged and
Yeah.
said, "Can I join you one night?" And then I never looked back really. But it is amazing what we've done. And in places that I've been that I'd never be able to go to, it's just amazing.
Is there
Oh, it
anything
sounds really good.
Is there anything you would recommend doing? I'm just thinking now. I'd like to try and
Yeah,
experience some
same.
of
I'd
this.
love to try.
But
Ouija boards, I wouldn't do it.
No.
No.
well, I
never
mean,
do
when
that.
you go into a place, is there?
So the best thing to obviously you're interested as well. So is there three of you?
Yeah,
Would you all do it?
that's right.
Right, well, you've got a team
Drag him
already,
along.
haven't you?
I would get dragged around.
So basically, I mean, you can use Google and put abandoned places near me, or you can get in a car and you can drive. It uses a lot of petrol sometimes, but
You'd be
you
surprised
can just
what you
drive
find.
and go and find, go on the internet, have a look.
There's certain places in like Wales and Scotland that look cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
beautiful,
yeah.
beautiful old
Yeah.
mansions, castles, yeah.
Or we can give you a few little places to start off with
Like,
to go and have a
well,
look at. That's what
well-
you're waiting for, isn't it?
I don't know. There's one actually very close to me that I don't know if it'll still be open, but I'll give it to you.
Is it
and it's got,
the? I don't want to say it. 'Cause I think I know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Is it like
don't say it.
I won't
I
say
won't-
it.
I'll
Got.
I'll say it
We'll say it after.
Yeah,
I'll
do it
tell you
after.
after.
It's like
You know
really,
what I mean, don't
really
you?
close
No.
to here.
Just say it after.
Yeah.
If it's really close to here, I think they might mean because there's quite a bit of people talking about it.
I'll tell you after.
Yeah.
Love it.
But you have to be really careful with stuff like that. Like too
We
many.
hate it. Like
Yeah.
if you give it to the wrong person, you just go and trash them. And
Yeah, you've got to have an air of trust, and you've got to keep your locations to yourself, unless you find somebody that you think they're all right.
Yeah.
Would it be like a thing like too many people go, that sort of thing? as well?
Just wrong people go and they just trash the place. They think it's fun to kick it in, or they might go and home and tell the kids, and then that's it. They're all on bikes. They're all up there.
We had one.
Fires.
We had one. This were weird, weren't it? At that station master's house, they'd opened a portal up,
That was
and it were just didn't they on
What,
that wall?
but how did they do that?
Ouija board usually.
We saw a dead pigeon with no head, didn't we? With blood all over it.
So that's satanic then.
I'd say it is.
Station master's house. Are you on about the one in Norfolk?
No, that one we went to
Langworth.
at Langworth.
I
Langworth.
didn't go.
Me, you.
I didn't
that's-
go.
I think it was Chris, weren't
Yeah.
it? Me, Chris.
Yeah.
I have been there though. I've done
That
the
was
one there.
that was
Yeah, I've done it,
strange.
but yeah.
Do satanic like cults actually exist, or
Oh,
is it like
yeah,
a thing of
massive.
myth?
Oh God,
No.
no.
Oh, no, it
100%.
100%. You will never
100%.
believe, honestly.
Isn't
Like,
paganism coming back a bit? People
Paganism's great.
Yeah.
yeah.
Paganism's not
Yeah, I
satanic.
know, I
worship.
know that, but like people are like
Yeah, they're
finding
getting-
shrines now. People are going for it.
It's like a thing now, isn't it, to go and build a shrine in the
Yeah, there's some
countryside and
weird
stuff.
things going in.
Like you know what you said to me about you went for a walk in the woods.
Yeah.
That's your moment of being a pagan.
well, now I'm just thinking, we found some like really bizarre bones, didn't we?
Yeah, some sheep bones.
Yeah. Like, because we can't work out how the sheep got there.
Right.
Because
The field was miles away, so either it escaped and walked for miles,
Could have.
or
but no, it was just the way the bones were like all ripped. It just felt like somebody had done
it was
that.
the placement as well, because it was like this massive hole dug out of the ground,
Oh,
like
yeah,
huge, not like a grave, but like bigger.
Yeah,
and
it
it's
was-
like, how did it get in there?
We'll show a picture after. It's like
Yeah, it's very.
it's like
strange.
it's like a dug pit, and the bit I didn't tell you, it's like a massive grave of like animal bones, and then on the top is like it was like a sheep. What had just been there. There's no gamekeepers because we're thinking maybe it's like the gamekeepers using it to like lazily get rid of animals, but there's nobody owns.
It takes so much effort to get that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It takes so much,
Because farmers sometimes do dig holes and put them in
Yeah.
to save like a man come in.
but nobody owns
It's just
it.
because it's so far out from anywhere.
Yeah,
It was
that
a
is
lot.
It's a
weird.
huge field and like woodland, like they'd have to really want it hidden. Kind of
Like,
thing.
really
Unless it's
out
an
the
area
way.
where they wander and get stalked or something, but
I think that's how I get scared. It's not really so much like the paranormal. It's like these like. If you're saying to me
Yeah.
these exist,
They do exist.
can I just say though, being a ghost hunter now for 20 years, in all my ghost hunting I've never actually come across any. But I know they exist because we just know anyway. But I've never actually personally had an experience where somebody's affected me being a satanic worshipper or anything. Very private.
so there wouldn't be confrontational then. So that's like
No, they're
It's-
usually
that's
quite
films.
quite timid
films.
people,
Yeah.
aren't they? They're quite strange
Yeah,
people, and they just
Well,
it's
what-
usually under like in dark places, like where they'd go. I can do
Where
it,
we
like
go.
in caves or no, but I mean like we'd go to a
In caves,
poor-
one over there.
yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like that's where you usually find weird things.
Yeah, they're really deep ones that are really, really serious. They're not to be seen, but they definitely.
So they like
exist.
go in and you never see them and they go out. But would you be able to spot them in like? That's another thing I want to ask as well. Can you spot these people like?
No, they could be just normal people. I mean, you can look at other like different things like Masons and stuff like that. You know, that's a secret society, but most of judges and the police and all them type of people, quite often businessmen, they're in the Masons. But when you talk about Masons, you just think, oh, they're all weird, and they're not.
My great granddad were
just-
one. They had like
they-
secret handshakes and
Yeah,
all
they-
sorts of weird things.
But they do it for a reason, I
Yeah.
suppose. Keep the sort of like economy going, don't they?
Yeah,
in
money,
some
innit?
sense. Yeah.
money's
Have you ever got like a feeling of somebody like this person isn't right and they're into something
Yeah,
a bit?
I do.
Yeah,
Quite
definitely.
often.
Definitely.
You can always tell, can't you?
Yeah, I think we've all got that.
What we've all got like another side to us. What?
Yeah, of course. How many times do you'll come across a person and just think, oh,
Something not right
Not
about them.
bonding.
Not like,
You've
not
got that
keen.
one. They're into something dodgy, aren't they?
You just know, don't you?
Okay,
Definitely,
sometimes it's
yeah.
hard to think if you're actually fundamentally good or bad, because sometimes you do have thoughts what are a little bad. And I can see how like if these satanic cult, I can sort of see how they could go into that really.
I can as well because I'm fascinated. It's fascinating, but I'd never do it.
No.
But I do watch a lot of documentaries on it, a bit like Aleister Crowley and things like that. Like he was meant to be the wickedest man in the world, and like films like Ed and Lorraine Warren. You know the
Yeah.
famous. Like I'm obsessed with stuff like that, but I would never do it.
No. You
know what
research
I mean?
it,
I
don't you?
research it. I like to know what's going on in the background.
And that's
if you know what
good.
I mean.
Yeah, I get it.
I like
Good
to
to
have
be
a bit-
aware.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, you wouldn't like. What are these? What are they actually trying to look for? Are they trying to?
I think it's just a total worship, isn't it?
Just
of-
upheaval,
of
aren't
the
they?
believing that like
They've got their God, we've got our God.
Yeah,
It's
their
just
God
like
is
that.
Satan, whereas some other people, Buddha or
Do
God.
you guys go with any religion? Or you go
We've all
with
got our own
Yeah,
paths. I used to be a born again Christian for 20 odd years, and
I don't believe in God, but I think
I'm
aliens are our God. I'm obsessed with aliens.
I love
Like,
aliens too.
I
That's so
don't-
interesting.
Oh
Aliens.
God, yeah.
I think it's a
pretty
theory
much an
now.
atheist now.
Yeah.
So.
What do you mean, like was put here by aliens? That sort of
Yeah,
thing.
like Ancient Aliens. If you've ever watched that documentary on Netflix,
Oh, I
you
love
need to watch
Ancient
that.
Aliens.
It's amazing. That
It's
just
amazing.
tells me. I mean, if you go to like the Mayan pyramids in Mexico, they've got the hieroglyphics of the
Yeah.
photos of these beings, like these aliens. Like how there were no such thing as spacecrafts or anything back then. Where's that come from?
Yeah.
And the same with how the pyramids are made and how like Stonehenge is being made. How has that been built? Because we've not got the tools to
Do you
do
think
that now.
Do you think so much stuff happened before? 'Cause I think because we're living in this society now, I think we think we're so clever.
Yeah,
But I've got this feeling like so much stuff happened before.
100% with you.
Yeah.
I believe that we've already got to a point of civilization where we've already killed ourselves off.
Yeah,
and
no, I
we're,
agree.
We're actually...
No, I feel
Yeah.
like we're in like a... I feel like we're already in a dead society. And I feel like
100%.
I don't really know what the correct word is. Without...
Well, they found batteries in that in the desert. And cells of like... And like computers. That's the only way they can describe it. And they're actually formations done in stuff that they don't even know what it is. And have been found in the
Well,
in
did
the
the
earth.
Romans invent electricity and then it got forgotten
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's back. Like it's
Well,
So
electricity's...
interesting.
How can electricity be invented?
yeah, but you know what I mean?
There.
Like
Yeah,
they-
but I'm saying it's
yeah.
always been there, hasn't it?
yeah, it's
So-
Well,
crackers.
yeah.
Well, that's like the Einstein jump, isn't it? 'Cause when Einstein came up with the theory,
Yeah.
he made a jump what you can't really do.
Yeah.
He just, you know what I mean? What is that jump?
Well, why have we got so far in how many years? So let's say 1,000.
Yeah.
In 1,000 years, we've done all them things. In fact, let's say 500.
Even
So-
100 years.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So much, we've got cars, we've got computers, and you always think to yourself, what possibly could they invent next? What possibly could it be?
Do you think they've like slowed us down as well? Because like obviously I wasn't around the 80s, but like in the 80s people had a certain idea of the future, and obviously we're not there now. So do you think there's like somebody's like slowed it down a bit as well? I feel like they can just do things and then like all of a sudden this is out now.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why couldn't that be out 5
And we
years
just
ago?
accept it, don't we,
Yeah.
as well? When something comes out new, you're just like, all right, I can do that now, can it? We're
Yeah.
actually really bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a boat in a lake.
When I was
Oh,
a
yeah.
kid, I used to feel
Fishing.
like this, but I used to
More
sit and
interesting.
think, oh, in 10 years there's going to be flying
Get
cars. We're going to have like flying cars, and I used to believe that. Are we there? No, we're
Well,
not.
see, I used to watch like Futurama when I was a kid, and I'd be like, oh yeah, we're gonna have flying cars in the future.
Yeah. That's what I used
Well,
to think.
they
When I'm older.
have invented them. They do exist.
But they just not.
But
Yeah.
it won't work. It can't work. But they have. I've seen one work.
Yeah.
But they just imagine crashes.
It's like jetpacks.
We'd have to have
At
roads,
one point,
wouldn't we? A
you're
bit
gonna
like
have
planes.
Roads. No, Danielle, there've been no roads.
No, but
There'll be all this wonderful stuff, and then
they'd have
there'll
to
be
make like,
roads.
but there's
Wow.
roads in the clouds.
No, because then
Yeah, I never got
aeroplanes
just
ain't
I
got
never.
roads.
Was it like in Back to the Future? And they're like, and the
Yeah.
car's like flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like birds in the sky.
Wow, we've gone off on some
Joe's into conspiracy now.
I think this is the part we're talking about. Like, why did we say that? No, but I know you mean why. I don't know how you actually make roads for like flying cars. 'Cause
Yeah.
they fly all over the place.
Just ignore it.
But these roads, like if you speak to a pilot, they'll say you have to. They follow the paths, the roads. Like it's
Yeah, they
it's
got, like,
the
roads.
roads. They have their
yes,
own
that
roads.
yeah, I thought you meant like tarmac.
Like
Oh,
coordinates.
they're like
The
lights.
traffic
Sort
light.
of,
No, not like
cars
tarmac.
you
You're getting worse than me.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, but like you're saying, when you're in nature, you feel so much more. I don't know. It's clean. You just feel clean.
Well,
And
yeah.
And so
right.
I think all like the money and this wealth, I think it's like this illusion. I know it's a real cliche to say that happiness you can't get it through money and things.
Well, you need to go when you're talking like that. That's when you need to go and study a bit of physics,
Yeah.
because when you are in nature and your body is at that state, that means all the molecules, all the atoms in your body are at a relaxing state, and at a point that's where you can heal, because you're not being tainted, you're not being
By the world
by the
around
world,
you.
by toxins and everything else. So that's why we feel good. That's why we feel good when it rains. When we get that smell,
Yeah.
and you think, oh, I can smell that. That's because we are that.
Yeah.
We are made from that. And the physics is amazing, because we're 70% the same DNA, I think, as a daffodil.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
How do you
isn't
do
it?
that?
I know, it's
This
unbelievable.
here is made. Everything, it's all mass, so everything's got to be made of the same. That microphone, my arm, is all part of the same,
Yeah.
because it all came from the earth.
Yeah.
So
I was having the other day. I was looking at like this piece of.
started with hands now.
I was looking at this piece of fluff in the window. You just stare at something for like half an hour.
Yeah.
I was just staring at it and I'm thinking, I'm about as pointless as that piece of fluff now. Like, you know what I mean? We're both on the same sort of like level.
Yeah.
But do you think when we're out there, like walking around, we're just not conscious? Like we're just in.
When we're out there, that's why we have to have our status. We have to have our clothes. We have to look good. We have to have his makeup on. Not you. But have you got a piercing? Or,
Yeah, it's like a bit of
or is it a goatee? But we all have our look, so that we're not that piece of fluff.
Yeah.
We feel
Do you get me?
accepted, don't we? We've got
Yeah,
to be.
which is
Well,
quite
it's all
sad.
like,
Yeah.
we keep jokingly saying this, but it's sort of sadly true that like time itself is like a construct. It's all human construct. Like it doesn't really exist. Like humans put value on all this stuff.
Yeah.
None
Yeah.
of, like really we are as pointless.
It's
Yeah,
so
it
good
doesn't
to
really
hear
matter.
humans
Right.
talk like this.
Yeah, I love it.
It is, but at the same
It
time,
is.
it's a heavy burden at the same time.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
still.
It
Like,
can be.
You say it, but you don't want to like think about it all day because it gets.
No, you can start panicking.
Yeah.
You're like,
Oh God, like, I can't really
Yeah.
decide or complain because I'm like people say, oh, don't worry about it because you know anything could go wrong, but we
Yeah.
don't matter. I'm like, that doesn't really help me. That actually makes
No.
me feel worse. Yeah.
Which is
I
why
can't-
it's good to have mindfulness,
Yeah.
practice mindfulness and live in the now. Because if you start thinking about things in the future or what's already been, you're not actually experiencing the now,
Yeah.
So, and you miss out on things like you don't hear the birds, you don't see the beautiful sky because you're more bothered about what I'm having for tea or...
Well, your memories can be misguided, can't you? You remember
Yeah.
things. I'll remember them wrong like 7 or 8 times, but I'll still keep telling somebody. So every time I tell the same story,
Yeah.
something's either been added or took away,
Of course.
and it's just not the same.
Because
So
the
I worry
brain has to remember it, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in mindfulness, and it takes away that bit of wanting to know the truth all the time, because we're not going to know truth
We're not supposed
until
to
we
know, are
leave
we?
Yeah,
this planet. So you might as well just enjoy what you're doing right now.
that's what I worry about. I'm always one of the people. I worry about things that aren't even happening to me, which is empathy. I think
That
is
sounds
what
like
I
me.
and,
Like
but,
that.
but I can't sleep for it. I'll just be like, it's got nothing to do with me at all. But I'll go to sleep and I can't sleep, and that's the side I'm trying to work with now, to try and turn that off and just focus
There's
on
a
my own.
fantastic book called The Chimp Paradox.
Okay,
Download it, it's amazing.
it's gonna help.
100%. The minute you open that page, you'll read it and go out, what, have they wrote a book about me? But every single person will think that, because
Yeah, I
it's
bet so.
Chimp Paradox, guys.
Big
And it
plug.
right, don't worry.
Advertising it.
But it is really good. And The Secret as well.
Yeah, The Secret.
Secret
I'm a
is
massive believer
amazing.
in The Secret.
The Law of Attraction.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because how I met my girlfriend was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was like 1 in a trillion. Like, not just that.
Can I pour some drink in my cup?
Yeah. Just
Is
like,
that what you're doing?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
top line up as well, so.
I'm just so thirsty. I know what you
Get
mean.
mine.
Yeah, sorry, so...
Yeah.
Kind
So
of.
so we like
We're just
15 things
Buzzers.
had to happen in my life for us to even meet.
Really?
So if I hadn't walked under this certain bridge in my life, this is how far back it goes.
Yeah.
I would never have met. That's how far
Yeah.
back it goes. But how we met was also almost metaphysical, and I'm not trying to sound like because people go, oh yeah, right. But when we met, we just stared at each other, and we didn't exchange any words, and then we just started hanging out. So,
Wow.
so I think there is some truth in that. It's hard to say, and I think not everybody's gonna ever experience that. I think part
You're
of
lucky.
I think part of you got to look for it as well.
Is
I
it your
think-
twin flame then? Like a soulmate, almost.
Almost,
Yeah.
yeah. And there's also been a test, like we've come close to breaking up a few times, but we both can't do it. Like there's something.
Sounds like me and mine, doesn't it?
Yeah,
what-
sounds like your souls are meant
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I just feel like there is something out there. What this isn't.
Yeah.
Isn't
You do attract. Souls are attracted to each other.
Mm.
And not everybody has that. You're lucky. But it's probably because you are searching for something.
That's what I mean. I felt like because I literally just decided as well at that very moment to stop trying. Cause I was using Tinder's date and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And at the very moment I decided, right, I'm not going to do that anymore. And it was literally the day after, like
Yeah.
that
No, she
happened.
came to you.
I went
Oh, I
on
love
plenty
that.
of fish once, come straight off.
I bet you guys
Yeah, Lord.
There's
What is this?
some weirdos on that in there. Shuffling out.
Bloke telling me to get kettle on, he'll be round in 10 minutes.
My auntie, God, I hope she's not watching it. You actually know me, auntie, don't you?
Yeah.
It's my auntie where I went on 2 dates. It's completely off ghost hunting, by the way. She went on 2 dates, right? Somehow told this man where she lived, washing pots one day, looking out window, and he's there with a suitcase going through, honestly, in the garden.
You're kidding me.
Honestly. She opened the door, what do you think you're doing? He went, I've left her, I'm moving in.
Really?
2 days.
Facts.
Yeah.
People are ruthless now, aren't they?
Crackers.
Let's get back onto ghost.
Yeah, let's go
Yeah.
back to the ghosties.
So,
That would
like,
be weird.
if we were gonna go on a ghost hunt and we don't have any equipment or anything, just literally our cameras, like what would you suggest like
You
how
need
to do an investigation.
Like call out and build the energies up. Be really positive
What about
it.
protection? Would we need
Oh
anything
yeah, do we need to like?
yeah.
Is there a ritual or something?
You can get
or-
crystals.
no?
Yeah, crystals are good.
I love. I've got a collection of crystals.
I
And
like
something.
There you
We
go.
all
Yeah.
a lot of us that wear our bracelets, don't we?
Yeah, they've been blessed and stuff. But
I think just for me, it would just be just the feeling of maybe these actually, just the feeling of having something what's like mine, maybe.
see, I'm just
Yeah.
a bit more. You know what
Fearless.
I'm like? I'm just I just go in
Just
and
hardcore rage.
like just don't mess. You know, you've got to go in with that mindset. If you go in fearful, and I don't mean a fearful as in like if something happens, you're like not allowed to be scared. I'm on about going in to the investigation fearful already. You're vulnerable, so it's going into a place not being vulnerable, and just saying right, we'll come to check you out. Don't even think about attacking or. And you just be verbal, and then when you leave, you say thank you very much, and stay here and don't bother following us home.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're going through some trauma.
Is there anything we just should not touch? Like anything what you just go don't?
Well, I
your Ouija
reiterate just the Ouija boards. I really would say not to. I mean,
I've done it
I
in
don't
the
know if you
past,
have in
but
the
I
past.
wouldn't.
No, I've never tried.
That it's each down to each an individual, but
I'm not gonna lie, I have wanted to.
Yeah, same. But
It's a
at the same
bit
time,
like-
it's a bit scary.
It's-
Leaving
it's
your back
totally
door
up to you.
open, going into town and letting any bugger into your house.
That's quite a way to describe it, I guess.
Yeah. On anything, anybody could come in.
Yeah.
And you just don't know what you're messing with.
Yeah, that's what I've
Yeah.
heard.
Well, I've done it, like, massively. I used to be massively into it, but since
Don't
joining
try to
Retford Ghost Hunters, that's me done with it.
And if you are going to go with just a camera, an Android phone, you'd be surprised how many apps actually do work, don't they? Like the
Ghost hunting
Paratech is a
apps.
word bank. It just pops random words up, and spirits can manipulate that and bring spirits through that they want to tell you. So if you doubt, that's a free app on Android, and
What's
it does.
it called? All right.
Paratech, Paratec.
Yeah.
But on iPhone you can't get it.
Yeah, sponsored by.
I have an Android, so it's fine.
But that's a really good app to just use. You could do a hunt with just a Paratech. couldn't
oh,
you?
wait, well,
God.
when we started,
When we
it
first
was
started, we had no
yeah.
equipment.
Paratech and EMF meter.
I mean, a lot of the words.
That's all we had.
Every word you don't think it's going to mean anything, but the odd ones. Say if you something like you say, what's your name?
Well, tell them about Ian. Excuse me.
Oh, Ian was
Drunk
amazing. Do you know Ian, the Plague Village?
No.
Where the plague started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's in the Peak
yeah.
District.
Right.
And there's so much history to that, and basically there was lockdown because of the plague. It was caused by the rats. And we was there doing a hunt with, and we had the Paratech on, and the Paratech came, it said quarantines, it said rat, it said fabric, where that's how it started, rat fleas on the fabric.
Oh,
It
is that the
said-
place where the quarantine and all died.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. What else did it say?
I can't remember,
But
but just
every
the
word
fact it said rat and quarantine,
we
we
were
were like,
live on Facebook,
wow.
and every word was about
Relevant,
that village.
weren't it?
That's
And it was
amazing.
absolutely, it was someone saying a story, weren't
Yeah.
it?
We're nuts.
And a lot of people say apps don't work, but that
We
app,
found that they have.
that
Yeah.
one definitely does
Some
work.
are a bit crass, aren't they? But Paratech's
As
brilliant.
long as you don't expect every word to mean something.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Like you used to think it.
I used to link
beginning.
every word.
I used to just look over at him and be
like
like,
if it said wool, did it say wool or something one day? And I was like, the teddy bear's made of wool.
Just trying to make sense of it.
Yeah.
Like, it means
But
something.
why would that word come up? Like a single word by it? Is that?
sometimes it's the thing is, right, sometimes they might be relevant, but we don't know their
We don't know.
life.
Like
Yeah.
even saying what's your name, and sometimes it'll answer. Say David. How old are you? And then it'll say a number, and you think for that to be a coincidence, that's a big coincidence.
Of course
for
it is.
it
Or
to be on
sometimes you can
demand.
say, what's your name? And it'll say flowers. And
Yeah.
how
then
old are you? And it'll say car.
Yeah.
So,
So you kind,
you know,
kind of know when you're
you
getting
know,
something.
You know.
Yeah.
Or when it's flat and you're not really picking anything up. But if when spirits start, you've got to give it time as well, because they might not be used to how to work it. So when they start getting used to it, you'll notice you're getting a lot more activity. Because that one spirit might struggle, say if it's a little kid or it's a old, because they didn't have gadgets back then.
Mhm.
So once you've figured
We
it
don't know
out,
how it works, but it's
well,
fine.
we don't know how it works, but they do. It does take
Manipulate
time
it,
to get
don't
into
they?
it,
Yeah.
don't it?
So you call out. Is that the first thing you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Get yourself settled, get yourself
Yeah.
comfortable, and then
Sometimes have a look round
Oh,
the
so
building.
you have to
safe.
sit down or you
sometimes
stand?
it
Yeah.
if you just go in, you know, it's sort of like ghost hunting. I mean, are you forming another team and kicking us out or what? No, if you're just going like, going and doing a bit for yourselves and what have you, it's just literally just chill out for a bit. Chill out at the place. Get, your sort of like, what do you call it? Energies.
Yeah.
Get your energies and the building's energies to sort of like combine and stuff. And
Tell
then
the story.
Would you ever recommend doing this yourself? There's like a part of me would just like to go myself and just like complete tranquility by myself and walk around, or is that
if you did, I wouldn't do a derelict building on your own.
just in case something happens?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
The floorboard
could be anyone
goes
there.
aside.
Tell them a story about you.
Me. So we went to Harrogate to check out this house because we knew it was abandoned, and Rachel couldn't get over the fence, so I had to go on my own. And I didn't realise I had no signal on my phone, and I couldn't find an access point. But then I saw an hole in the floor, and I thought, I wonder if that goes into a cellar where then I can get into the house. So I dropped down into this hole, went legs first, and then it was just a dead end. So I thought, so I went to pull myself out, but I was like down the hole, so all I could see was up. As I'm trying to pull myself out, I've got nothing to hold on to, and my legs are stuck. Like an adult in a baby swing.
yeah.
It was like that, and I had no signal on my phone, and I went into panic attack mode.
You know what's interesting about
It's a
this?
Kit
The way,
Kat.
the way you said,
It's in a Kit
there might be a cellar down below.
Yeah.
You can tell you've done this before.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I love going to just climbing
It
anyway.
can get where Watty can't. But I'm in there, I'm thinking, it must be enjoying it. It's been ages. And then all of a sudden, after about half an hour, the phone rang.
I was like this, and someone were looking over me because one bar of signal came, didn't it?
Oh,
and I'm like, where are you? He went, I'm in a hole. Like, I've been stuck here for half an hour. I'm like,
Did you panic?
yeah. I went, well, no, I didn't. I actually said, right, okay, you're not stuck. I am. Because you won't be. And I'm thinking, I can't get over the fence. So, yeah, you are.
I nearly went 5 grade. I was
did.
that close, but then I thought...
I said, just try and move your hips. And I talked you out of it, didn't I?
You did.
Even
you
without...
just calmed me down by
Yeah, so
just... 'cause I was
breathe.
just panicking. I were...
hyperventilating it like.
Yeah.
So I just calmed him
I
down.
was
And
thinking
next minute he
worse. I was
got
thinking
out.
if it rains, I'm going to drown.
Oh, for God's
Because
sake.
I kept thinking, is someone going to come and put a lid over the hole, hoping never to be seen again? You just think
So
worse.
funny.
So funny. Plant part
A
on
lid
there.
of it
Yeah.
all.
That's what happens though, is it, when you're in a dangerous situation, you just
Yeah.
relax.
Yeah.
And you can ease through it.
But luckily, you
got out.
you calmed me down, and I kind of like twisted my body and managed to pull myself out. But it's taught me, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And we take radios now if it's just me and you.
Yeah, good
Walkie-talkies.
idea.
What you like?
Walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were like, I wish we were live. I wish
I did.
we
I
were
went, oh, I wish
live.
we were live.
Don't tell it
I
that.
was saying we needed walkie-talkies and you guys laughed.
Yeah, I was taking the message.
Oh, no, you
Take
need to
them. If you go to a
walkie-talkies.
derelict, take walkie-talkies.
I can imagine you won't
It's just
go.
cool, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
walkie-talkies.
I know. Please come through. As a kid, yeah.
We know code names.
Have you ever found any like weird like bunkers or anything like that? That'd be like a second part of fashion.
Oh my
Please, we were
God.
in one last night. I'm going to go and check yours. Do you mind?
Yeah, that's fine.
We were in one last night. Tell the story then. What happened last night, Will?
Last night.
Oh, this
With,
Have you
I
forgot?
know
where was you last night?
We was in World War. We was in a
John
prison.
Tanner's watching Paranormal Electronics.
We was in a prisoner of war camp, and it was Italian-German prisoner of war camp, and it was amazing. But we were sat in this bunker, and the Alice box is like the Paratech, but it's its own version, and it can do full sentences. So it's words, and it can produce full sentences. And we sat in this war bunker, and it said bunker. It's like how the Alice
my
box is
God.
brilliant. The Alice box is always that relatable. We thought it was listening to
Write
us.
that down.
We thought it was listening to us.
Got it.
So we actually took the microphone away from the actual laptop, and it's still amazing. And then we sat in this bunker, and it says bunker, and then the next it just said the word war, and then it said used in war, and then it said Spitfire.
Victory.
Wow.
Victory.
And then just as we were leaving, it said Spitfire. I was like,
I can't,
What
I,
an
Just
ending.
I
so
can't, I
relatable.
can't picture this place. So what did it like look like? Like the
So it's three buildings, isn't it?
Mhm.
You walk in, and they've still got the original trenches, and then at the side of the trenches.
tell you what, we'll give you the pin, and that can be your first ghost
first
hunt.
one. All right, this
Yeah.
that sounds like a big one for
Can you
the first one.
drive?
Juicy,
Yeah.
innit?
It's
It's
in
Huddersfield. It's only an hour
about
away.
an hour away from here.
Yeah, you've got to be prepared to travel. We
That's
ghost
fine.
hunters.
That's fine.
But it is good. It's good for just to look around as well.
Is there like a time you would go at? Because
Well, we got there for 9:15, but at the moment it's not getting dark till 9:30. And then so best to sort of like go round about 9 o'clock, have a good look round, and then wait
So
till
are the
it's dark.
spirits more active, like only active at night time?
No.
Does
is
not
that like
affect
a
them at
media?
all?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a Hollywood
very,
thing,
like,
you know. Yeah.
I was just thinking that.
We
That's
do
like
a
silly
lot of
question,
stuff in the
but-
daytime, don't we? For
Yeah.
again our
Yeah.
support. Not so much a full-fledged ghost hunt, but the reason people ghost hunt at night is, number one, it's quieter.
Yeah, I imagine because you don't want like it's like security.
Well, you wouldn't have
like-
all this traffic going
No.
like at night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things like that, and this obviously it's everything senses different, doesn't it? Things change at night. It's more spooky to watch. You know, and there's that fear factor as well
Of
for
course
us,
there
isn't it?
You feel
So-
more vulnerable as well.
You feel more
Things
vulnerable.
do
Some of
change
your
it.
senses are lost a bit.
Things do change at night, though, don't they?
Atmosphere
They do.
changes,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
What is that?
Well, some senses
Right.
you lose and some senses you gain. So you might lose you might not be able to see as good, but you might be able to hear better.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
things do get
sometimes, yeah.
quieter,
Yeah.
don't they?
Yeah.
Quieter, don't they?
But
Yeah.
Yeah, I love camping, but that's always one of the things, because we've gone camping plenty of times, but when it comes down to camping in woods and stuff, I do always panic a little bit if I'm like, oh, I'm just going to have a little walk, because of course you don't want to sit near the fire all the time, but as soon as you get out of the darkness, you're like, alright, I want to
go back.
Just woods for me are
Yeah.
one of the creepiest.
Yeah,
things,
woods
I
are
think.
awful.
Yeah.
talking about buildings, I've never had anything in buildings, but when it comes down to like nature and woods, something goes off.
We tend to check a place out first
Yeah.
as well. We'll go, make sure signal's good, make sure, and even if you're not going to be going live on Facebook yet, if you do something, but for yourself, for your safety, so that you need to ring 999 or whatever. Because sometimes we've been in buildings and there's been homeless people.
Yeah.
Sometimes we've been in
Squatters,
and there's been some squatters or people on drugs and stuff, and they might be a bit angry, and then you might get stuck in an owl. You know, so
know what's
you've
gonna
got to
happen.
you've just got to
No.
be prepared. You know, it's almost like doing a little risk assessment, and that you've got to be safe.
Well, you don't be like unprepared, do you?
No, definitely not.
No, I mean I'm not saying we don't just daft things, because when we do go urban exploring, we just
Yeah, but you've probably been doing it. You've been doing it for a long time, so you've got that like experience.
Yeah.
To,
But things can always still happen, can't they? But yeah, we've been our age.
That's what I mean. I'm pretty fearless, but at the same time, I'm quite unlucky. So that would be my biggest thing, that I
Yeah.
don't want to disturb anything, or like I wouldn't do it on purpose,
Mm.
but I don't want to like go somewhere and decide to go down like a pipe or something.
Yeah. Oh no, be careful.
Yeah.
And you've got to be careful of don't give things time.
Yeah.
Like, don't just go in and say, "Is there anybody here?" Oh, this is shit. Come on.
With your,
You know, you've got to give
It's
it
gone sad, hasn't
time.
You've got to be patient.
But some
Yeah.
nights they'll want to play spirits, and then other nights they won't.
Well,
They're like,
a lot of
they don't want to
times,
know.
They chuck stones and start talking
Yeah.
when you're talking and you're
They
ignoring
love it when you're
them.
laughing about like that. You're building. You've got your positive energy. They feed on it, and then
Yeah.
they can.
so
do things.
say if you're like charging around the place, or you're not going to find really anything. But if you stand still in one place for a bit and just
Give it time.
Do it
Sit.
time.
Listen,
Text
use your
something
use your
comfortable.
senses. They're the number one thing I'd say. Your eyes, ears.
We take chairs, fold up chairs a lot of the time.
Yeah,
Just sit
flask
and
of
chat.
coffee,
But
sandwich.
you were talking about that noise, what kept like in the distance. Is
Mm.
that something chasing you out, or is it something winding you up?
It
or-
can be. It can be. It depends where you go. Every hunt's different, but
On my second investigation I ever did, that was probably the most scariest one. We got chased out of the care home, didn't we?
oh my
It was the
God.
first time we saw things being thrown in front of our eyes when no one was there, and I can't explain it. There's just no explanation to it whatsoever, and that for me is what's moved me to. There's got to be something, because see something physically thrown when no one is physically there. How does that happen?
If more people do this, do you think more? I don't want to. Cause it's quite a nice thing, isn't it? Just like a few people doing it.
Yeah.
That's the thing I like about it. But then, do you think if more people saw it, they would believe instantly?
No,
No. You think
no.
it takes some
I think
time?
there's some people are scared of it, aren't they? So
Yeah.
they just think, it'll be now. You know, otherwise the whole of the UK would be on our page.
Yeah.
Do you know
Nice,
what I mean?
wasn't it?
Yeah, but some
Manifest
people
it.
come on and they're like, this is cracker shit, or
Yeah.
what you doing? So I think to watch it and to.
The thing that I kind of like when people comment saying this is so fake, because obviously we know we don't fake it, and for them to think it's fake, there must be good stuff happening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For them
They
to
don't
say this is
understand us.
fake,
Yeah.
it's like, well, we're doing well then, because this is not fake.
Yeah.
We know it's not fake.
Yeah, and
You
you're seeing
think
stuff and
it-
hearing
yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
nice one.
I always think, like, of course, like on like the American like TV shows where we're doing it, it's like it's clearly like they're playing it up. But I imagine like even for you personally to like keep doing it like day after day after day, surely people would also understand it would get pretty boring if you.
Oh, we
know
can't wait till next.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
you're right.
It would get boring if you know, oh, Carl's in the back banging her.
Yeah.
chairs.
Yeah,
Of course
yeah.
it would.
We actually like it when we don't get anything, don't we?
Mm.
Because
It's
it
very-
shows
yeah.
that we're not always. You don't always get it. So when you go and it is dead and it is flat, you think, well, you're not always going to get it, and it's
Yeah.
quite nice.
Yeah. Plus,
And
I
sometimes
imagine
we just
it's-
get one
It's
thing.
like a nice like, sit down in the dark like.
Well, yeah.
Even that.
Yeah, we just love it,
It's
don't
It's
we?
nice
We
to
just
chill
love
out
it.
and have a
It's
child-free
just
night,
nice.
isn't it?
Every investigation you'll do will be different. You'll never have
Yeah.
one that's the
Never.
same,
No.
and
It's
that's what I
like-
love.
Why would you like travel all this way to a location and like not pick anything up if it
Yeah.
was fake?
I mean, I'm
Exactly.
going to Edinburgh next weekend.
yeah.
Edinburgh Vaults.
It's a very,
Yeah,
very,
I
like,
can't
got
wait.
a very gothic vibe, doesn't it, Edinburgh?
Yeah, yeah, big
Love
time.
Edinburgh.
Like they literally have like roads and or streets and under the roads. Cause
That's
they're-
where I'm
they're
going,
paved over.
to the Vaults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you
I've
went
been
back
there
to
as well.
if you
Oh,
went
yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
if you went back to a place, would the same thing happen again, or is it completely different as
No.
well?
You'll never get the same happen again. Not that
The-
we have.
The only
should I
thing we
say.
do tend to get, like we go to this church, not too far away, and it's massively haunted, and we always get.
Skidbrook. Yeah.
Say it, yeah.
Yeah, we can say it actually. It's Skidbrook.
Skidbrook
That's another one you
Church.
should go to.
It's amazing.
Every ghost hunter should go to
It's a
Skidbrook.
church ruin, and
Is it near
it's
Cleethorpes, isn't it? That
Skeggy.
way.
It's
Maple,
Skeggy.
Maplethorpe
Taking up a
Way.
vision church.
And every time we go, we get the same name, but we know he's there, don't we?
Thomas.
Thomas the monk.
Yeah, it's nice just to see as well. Go at night.
Do you have any like reoccurring like relationships where you just go back to? Because like, have you ever seen that
Thomas, I suppose.
Yeah.
Have you seen My Octopus Teacher on Netflix? When he's like a filmmaker who's like best friends with an octopus.
Right.
And
I've heard that's
I've
upsetting.
heard of
now.
it, yeah.
I think like there is some because we have like different connections with dogs.
You wouldn't know
don't
which
we?
jam to shout, yeah.
No, you got 8 to choose from. But we have different relationships with dogs and like animals than we do with people. So do you still get like those relationships with like spirits and?
I suppose now you're saying, Will, Thomas,
Yeah.
and even what we call the evil church
And then also,
is there all the time.
every time we've done the Victorian brothel, we've always got the
The
women
madame.
trying to seduce.
Yeah.
And that awful
So
man.
it's the same kind of.
Yeah, so I'll probably change my answer on
Yeah.
that then.
What's the awful man?
That thing that affected my ear. We
Oh.
were a man.
Is that the
You were
Victorian?
seeing him, weren't you?
Well, I told her she was going to get hurt. I says,
Because
careful.
it were my own fault. I were like being a bit of a silly,
Well,
silly bugger to him.
It was coming out, he was nasty.
It weren't being very
wasn't
nice, so I stood up to him.
Yeah.
I stood up and I was like, I'm not scared of you. And he didn't like it. Called him up and he did not like it, did I? So he affected me ear.
If something happened, then would you not push back against them? Would you? Or you?
When it affects a team member to that extent, because I've got to look after my team members as well. So if anything,
Made me cry.
if anybody gets like affected or whatever, I'll always take them to one side or get another team member to take them to one side and just, there's all that safety aspect as well. Mental, the mental.
Yeah, definitely. It's
Yeah.
mental.
If you're saying it's still affecting you after.
Plus, I don't want somebody to come and and never to come back again or something.
Yeah.
Petrified.
Yeah.
Because as kids, you always mock each other. Oh, I'm scared. And it's like, that's like probably the worst way to handle it. No,
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
got that. When you,
Like if we did this, you better not like tease me. Right?
no, but if somebody goes to like punch and you put your hand up and then they always say, "Oh, you've been a wuss," but it's
Yeah.
like I'm just defending myself.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm doing
Yeah,
what
if
I
you
should
go
be doing.
together, you've got to go with the same sort of like wanting the same thing.
Attitude.
Yeah, the same attitude. Yeah.
No, I think we're all in the same boat,
Oh
aren't
yeah,
we?
we're not like that kind of group, are we? But I was actually going to ask. I've got this old camcorder that uses tape. I was going to.
Is that what Noah had on Ark?
I didn't know we're on art.
I got the 4K one, but this one
Right.
is all like, do you know about old school night vision? You can flick.
To be honest with you,
So
I love the old
Standards,
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Some of the old stuff is good. try and get yourself. Oh God, I always forget the camera. What camera? The camera. What is it called?
The GoPro.
Not the infrared. Oh, they're good as well.
Because I was just going to ask, like...
Full spectrum.
That's
Yeah.
it, full
Do
spectrum.
you also, like, use lights, or do you just keep it in the dark? Because, of course, with that, like, I wouldn't be able to film, like, if it was too dark.
We have a gimbal and we have like an LED panel light.
Yeah, I've got it.
Um,
Be able to do that.
And just, it's good to try and light up
Yeah.
into
As much as you can.
as much as you
Oh,
can.
they
When you're
Well,
watching it,
with
you
sales,
can't.
would they?
If it's just pitch black while you're watching,
Yeah.
people just
It's not interesting enough,
they
is
lose
it?
interest. They want to see what you're seeing,
They want to see.
As
I
much
think
as
want to see your
possible.
expression as well.
because
You know what I mean?
then they'll get the feeling of being scared as well. Because they feel like they're there a lot of the time.
Yeah.
That's what they say. They watch
Yeah.
because they've got the safety of being in their own home, but then they're scared watching because they feel like they're actually there with us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's why I was...
Blair Witch syndrome, innit?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blair Witch Project syndrome. So
Yeah, we probably would bring a camcorder then. Just like if it was dark in another room kind of thing, we'd use the night vision on that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, night vision's good. I mean, because we use the phone and we go live, we don't use night vision.
What happens if one of us start having a really bad experience, or we all pull out? So
Yeah.
just go straight away.
Mm.
So you wouldn't push into it, or
No.
No, don't delve into it if it starts getting nasty.
No, but the biggest work, I think, out of all of us, probably the fourth person who will come with us. You know what I'm talking about? Probably the most vulnerable.
oh,
She gets the most scared at anything that happens. It's just because some people just can't be in those situations, can they?
No.
And question whether she should come if she's
Yeah.
that bad. You know.
Yeah. Well, I think she wants to overcome it,
Mm.
but I feel like of everybody, she would be the one who would have a bad experience. So
Maybe if you did like a daytime hunt first with her, so she got a gist of it, and
Yeah,
then
and go
take it
on
to a
that.
nighttime one because it's so different.
And I wouldn't go on a hunt. If like,
Big pain.
say I know.
Got spirits up there.
Say if you've just had a massive like upset or you feel low or you don't feel great, I always say to my team, don't come if you don't just come for the saying you come
Affects you, doesn't it, massively? If you're
in.
down or anything like
Because
that.
it can make you feel worse. Because it can drain you. It's using energy. The spirits will use and batteries, by the way.
Your phone battery will go because
All
they'll
sorts.
take that energy
yeah.
away.
Yeah. So always
even if
be
I
battered
got,
up.
5 batteries for that, so
go take power packs and
Yeah.
things.
would you do like a thing where you say if we drove to the place, would we all just go somewhere to hang out for a little bit just to get on the same page and just mentally like?
Yeah, take
stay
some
outside
snacks
with
and
Yeah.
take some drinks and not alcohol.
Yeah. I
No
don't know
alcohol
if that's
before,
an idea.
but we don't drink
on
on
a hunt
No.
because
on
Right.
investigations
could
or
affect what you see
before.
and all sorts.
What about like music? Is that like a disrespectful thing, or
No.
like I just got
we
like
use it a lot, don't
a
we?
connection to music, and I just feel like being in a place like that, it would open.
The
like,
only
a
thing I
new-
would say is if you're ghost hunting and you're playing music, you're not going to hear clicks and farts.
I wouldn't play it out loud. I'll just sit for a minute and maybe.
You'll find your own way of zoning in, which is what you call it, zoning in. Getting attached to the place. Like Macca on our team, when we go on a hunt, he always takes off before we go live because nobody actually sees him what he does. He goes off on his own and you'll see him, he's just stood with his eyes closed and he's zoning into the atmosphere and
Zoning mean like trying to get into that.
trying to soak in the surroundings and zone in on, like last night we were at the bunkers, so he would have been thinking about the war and, getting himself into that mindset and into that place so that he's susceptible to something.
I just thinking this is the only thing that's ever happened to me apart from sleep paralysis. I have actually heard like a voice in a dark place.
Most people have.
Is that?
Have you heard your name being called? Because that's common.
Yeah, but I had that when I was younger. In like,
Yeah.
like when you hear your parents
Yeah.
shout, but nobody's there.
Yeah.
Would that be something that would happen quite?
I don't. There's theories about this because a lot of people get it. A lot of people have their name being called, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's paranormal or I don't know if it's something to do with the brain.
It always makes me jump now.
Have you ever had it?
Yeah.
Have you?
I've never actually had that, but
Oh.
when I was younger, I used to lay in bed. This sounds weird because I don't know how it would connect, but I used to lay in bed when I was really young, and I couldn't go to sleep because I heard like marching of like
Really?
people just marching, and it freaked me out so much. Like I've never had it since, but there was a good like month or two where I just keep hearing like people marching.
When you're a child and when you're younger, it's
So-
amazing.
Yeah.
When
I feel
I,
like,
the
I
brain
feel like kids are
cells.
very susceptible to them.
Oh,
They are.
100%.
Because like as adults, we can like justify things or like think, oh, it's because of this or because it's paranormal.
Well, as a
You
child,
don't
you're
know.
naturally open, aren't
Yeah.
you? Because you're learning. You're sponge.
Because
basically.
also like as your kid, I think everyone, me and you talked about this, where of course your mum and dad would be like, all right, off to bed, and then the landing lights are off, so you think you see someone up there. Like, I don't know if that's just again kids being kids and scared.
Yeah,
like
like it's shadows, isn't it?
But you see like a shadow up there, and you're like, I'm not going up there. Because mum takes me up there.
Do you, because you don't seem like as scared as, do you think like because it's so new to like these ideas, we're scared of them, but we shouldn't be scared of it? Do you think it's
No,
like,
I think it's natural.
To
I
be-
think
to
it's
be
natural to be scared. Yeah, it all stems back from caveman days, doesn't it? When we were being hunted.
yeah.
That's where fear comes from. Flee or flight.
So
Fight
it's
or
a good,
flight,
it's a
yeah.
good
Fight or
thing.
flight. Yeah, that's one. Because we, it's the same as fear of spiders and everything, isn't it?
I've got that really bad.
Yeah.
Not that bad at all.
And I bet your parents or one of your parents is scared.
Well, I think it's actually one of my parents who gave me the phobia.
There you
to be
go.
honest. There we go.
So if you had parents that would have picked up a spider and let it crawl on you when you were little
Yeah.
and stuff like that, you would not have that fear.
Yeah.
But the reason we're given that fear is because years ago, and probably in most places, a spider will kill you. So you're taught to have that fear.
Evolution. Like, because
There you go.
how I got it, and this is my earliest remember, so it's got to be that. But my mum put a coat on, and there was a spider on the back, and it scared me so much. I ran into the garden, and I was like shaking, and ever since then, that's it.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
it. So your brain has learned. Your brain now is programmed to not like spiders.
Yeah.
So that's why people have therapy to reprogram
But
the
it's
brain.
not. If you just put a spider on the table, it's not how the spider looks at me; it's how it
That's how
crawls.
it moves.
Yeah, I find spooky.
Oh, with 8 legs is not right.
Yeah, I know.
I think
agree.
I think it also goes into like being in the corner of a room, because it's going back to horror movies. Horror movies don't really scare me, but when there's some figure in the corner, I don't know if this is connected to spider. I might be reaching here, but because spiders are in the corner as well, and when there's like a ghostly figure in the corner, that's how I get scared. There's something about.
Well, that's why they
something-
use horror movies and do things like that.
There's
It's
a
all
lot
about
of spiders in horror
psychology,
movies,
isn't
don't
it?
there? Yeah.
And putting things in the corner and what have you.
It's like when you're doing a ghost hunt and then when you're doing a long corridor and you always think there's something along the end of the corridor, but it's just, again, what you think.
Well, you can actually use it. Children have got fear of ghosts because we're taught to be scared of ghosts from school.
Yeah.
It's school, Halloween.
Yeah.
All that. It's all learned, isn't it?
Well,
It's learned behaviour.
The scariest experience I had, I think I was about 14, and I woke up to this like voice, and to describe it, it was sort of like, it sounded like a kid, but it was like really muffled, like they had a pillow over their face or something, like a muffled kid trying to talk. So I woke up to that, and I was just like, what? I just woke up.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Said that out loud, and then like they actually like said something, but I couldn't quite tell because it was really muffled. And that's when I like fully woke up. Then I was like, oh my god, they just said something back to me. Went to turn the light on, and the light blew out, and it terrified
Wow.
me. I literally ran out of the room, and I slept on the floor of my brother's room that night, rest of the night. So scary. I can't explain it. I don't
know what it
because
was.
it was the fact that I heard the voice like as I was asleep, and that woke me up, and then I asked a question, and it responded. And then the light blowing out as well.
Yeah, that's
very
crazy.
strange. I can't explain it. I don't understand.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
So do you guys have like a future plan, or you approach any more like ideas for media, or you just going?
We a own TV show.
I read a little bit of
100%.
that.
We'd like to be like Most Haunted.
We've done a bit. We've done a bit of TV. No, we do not.
Better than Most
Yes.
Haunted.
We just want to get out there. It's not about so much being famous because it isn't, is it?
No, we just
But
love doing it. don't
but we do enjoy being seen. I mean, we've just gone past Crown Hotel. Actually, they're all sat outside, and
And
they're
they're
all
like,
like,
Retford Ghost, because we've got the van.
and at first we used to be like, oh my god, and phoning mother and everything. Yeah,
Phoning mother.
but
We
now
always
I'm
get
just
someone.
like, so it's not about that. But I think I love what I've created. It's been going for 2 years. It's had its ups and downs, but we're at a point where we just know that we're going to carry on and on and on, don't we?
Yeah.
We've also just opened a paranormal cafe.
Yeah, I read about it. Is it tea room?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
At the moment it's short because we've expanded and gone into the main part of the building, haven't we? So that it'll be back open again in a couple of weeks. But that, again, it's about para-unity, about our viewers. We did it to sort of like create that community. Because also we deal with a lot of mental health
Yeah, a lot.
as well. There's a lot of our viewers that suffer with mental health issues and loneliness.
Can anybody go into the cafe, or is it just for...
Oh yeah,
alright.
Anybody. I'm talking even just like our viewers even watching us now. So it was Pete, wasn't it? Pete's idea. He said, I wanna do something for his viewers, and I wanna we've already got this community. So how about we do a cafe, and where people can meet and people can talk. And when it was open, people were coming and viewers were meeting each other and saying, "Oh, do you want to go on a dog walk?" And I mean, we're waiting for for a wedding or something, aren't we? To come out of it all. But and it's just wonderful what that's done, really, isn't it? It's lovely, and it shows that we're real as well. Because obviously, me and Pete are working in the cafe. Macca helps as well, and you sometimes and what have you, and you'll come and eat. Do you know what I mean? So they're meeting the team, they're seeing that we're just normal. Because we want to give that impression. We don't want to be
it's nice.
the elite or, we're famous. And that's why we've done the cafe as well, isn't it?
Just to nice to meet
show
who's
that we're
actually watching
normal.
us.
That's why, yourselves,
Yeah.
I didn't know who you were, but, can you come and do a podcast? Of course.
Yeah.
Of course I am.
Well,
I don't care how big we are.
Well, that's what we're still trying to do as well. We just want to have a platform where everybody's voice is being heard.
Yeah.
Because obviously we've got people on here, we don't also always agree with what they're saying, we've got different political views. But as hosts, we don't interfere with that, and we just let them have their platform. Because everybody should be entitled to their own beliefs. And
to a certain extent, we don't want to
Yeah.
give someone the space that's like really...
Yeah, of course. But what you're saying about the mental health side as well, I think that's right now is like the worst time for mental health.
Massive. Like.
So it just, there's so many people. I've got a few friends, and if they're watching, they know who I'm talking about. So I'm sorry about this, but they are suffering from some things, and they just want to meet me for an hour, just so they can just hang out, and I think that's
it's another soul, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the most important.
Another soul, another being, and people are important in other people's lives, aren't they? We need people, and the lockdown showed that.
Lockdown killed it, didn't it?
It did. It showed how important we are to each other.
Yeah, it was cruel because of the...
It is.
I don't know, not go political, but it was like whatever happened, people still need to see each other.
Yeah, we're social creatures at the end.
Of course we are.
You're right. We're
As
pack.
much as I'm quite introverted,
People.
you can't get away with that. Like humans need
But
to.
there's an interesting thing with introverted people. Even though we won't go to clubs or anything like that, we don't like that sort of scene.
Yeah.
But we still have our own places we need to go to.
Yeah.
So it could be the cinema. It could be just like a park bench. We just like that place, and we've got to go to it.
Yeah, that's it. So, marvellous. Gosh, we've touched some subjects, haven't we?
Yeah.
Message to the kids.
Brilliant. So is your podcast live now?
No, we
You think
We're
it Nice.
thinking about doing some live stuff eventually, but we're just trying to figure out the camera.
Well,
Well, we figured it out, but
It's pretty new still.
So you'll have to send me a link to it.
will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great. We'll put it on our page as well.
Probably about 2 weeks. We're like backdate. We don't want to release, because some guests are like, "Oh, can you release ours now?" But we don't want like favouritism. We put that out.
No,
No,
don't we?
definitely.
We've done a few podcasts now, haven't we?
Yeah.
We know how it ticks.
There's quite a few people doing them in the area now, which is nice.
It's weird. It's almost gone backwards a bit, hasn't it? Because they used to do podcasts, and then it was like,
Well, I think like the art of conversation died.
yeah, you're right.
Because all the old shows what I like still watch, they were like smoking, drinking. They had really serious topics, and then now it's game shows and people like acting silly on TV. But I feel like podcasts sort of bringing it back a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
It's almost like BBC again, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the old days.
The old BBC.
Brilliant. Well, I hope you've enjoyed.
No, it's been really insightful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've learnt a lot. Thank you.
Oh, it's alright.
Bless you.
And it'll be nice for you to get out there
Yeah.
and have a go.
Yeah, I can't wait.
To let us know how you get on. with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we'll do.
You are cut, and then we can. I'll
Yeah,
see.
I will.
I'll see if we're thinking about the same place.